let me figure out if this is trying to make sure I get a center sauce. Easy. Oh, okay, I'll have to look at this later.
So, I guess we just need to stand,
Oh, okay.
like, I guess this should be, actually, I'm going to put it over there if you don't mind.
Okay, sure.
And then we'll stand more closer to it.
Okay.
That way we can hear, or it can hear us. So, Alicia, this is Alicia. So what do you think happens after this life? What's your initial reaction to that question?
I guess my question to you would be which life? Like just mine or?
Yeah. Like, I mean, we're all going to die someday, and, you know, like, do you think something comes next, or do you think it's lights out, or?
Yeah, you know? I don't know. I think that there's definitely like energy in people, and I think that can move on, whether or not it's in another person or as a
Gotta go
plant.
somewhere.
Yeah.
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 Do you-
And it turns into oxygen, and I feel like I believe in this like whole cycle of like connected life everywhere. Yeah.
So are you saying like maybe reincarnation then? Like our soul or our energy goes into someone else?
Yeah, I don't think it's another person necessarily, but I think that our energy has to go somewhere. It can't just like evaporate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of taking it that like you'd say energy, but maybe not our consciousness. Like the soul would be like, I think I'm pretty sure like most people when they think of a soul, it's like we would carry with our memories and everything we learned, and you know, like our personality to another life, you know. So you're not saying that, it's more just like the spark of energy within us, and then that'll go on.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that too, like the personality and stuff will live on, and like every other conscious being around you that knows you, like they have a part of you in them, like.
We have an impact on the world around us. Yeah. And a lot of people I've talked to have, like, they call it their legacy lives on, you know?
Right.
Like their memories, the memory of that person lives on. So whether it's going to have a positive impact on the world or negative or neutral, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's our legacy, and yeah.
Cool.
Now, did you grow up with a religious background, or?
Yeah, I grew up, my mom took me to a Methodist church. So,
just like once in a while, or were you guys like members of it?
No, we were members, and I was like rang bells in the bell choir.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I was like, I was in a really small town in Indiana, and so it was kind of like a big community. It wasn't like the big mega church, but it was like a tight little, like, I don't know, like 30 or 40 families, and then like older people. And so it was kind of a cool way to like come together every week with like different age groups and like life paths or whatever.
I grew up in a Lutheran church, and they have a bell choir.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't in it, but
I was for years. I went to like some big convention, I remember. That was crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a whole it's beautiful.
Yeah, you don't see that too often anymore, at least in maybe larger cities. I guess I'm assuming that. I've not been around to a lot of churches, but
I'm not sure.
So, Alicia, did you go to, I don't know, like, so in the Lutheran church we had what's called confirmation.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like, you take these classes for like 3 years, and then you're confirmed. Is that what you went through in the Methodist church?
I was confirmed when I was like 11 or 12, I think. Somewhere around there, and it wasn't 3 years, it was just like I think 1 year, and then I got like a blanket at the end from one of the women in the church made,
like just a gift or something.
And like we like spent the night in the church. I remember we went to like a food kitchen and served people on Thanksgiving, I think, one time, and we went on, I don't know, our pastor was really cool. He was actually from the inner city in Indianapolis, And so he just felt that it was his connections there. He like wanted to show us and like let us experience.
So like going
that.
to Indianapolis and doing certain things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he believed. Well, that's part of the teaching is showing or acting out your faith, right? By like feeding people, the homeless, whatever.
Yeah. And like also, I remember going to another church that was like, they had like a lot of gospel singing and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like showing us also different people that, especially being in like such an isolated bubble, small town where it's like all white people. It was just like, I thought it was cool that he like made sure we had experiences like that.
That's really good. That's great. So how meaningful was that to you? Or so I guess what I'm wondering is what you're saying, what you believe about after, life after death is different than what the Methodist Church would teach, or what the Bible would teach. Have you strayed from what you learned in confirmation class, or was there kind of like a time when you kind of broke away from your Methodist past, or anything like that? Or maybe you didn't even realize it,
Yeah, I guess like, I don't know, I never really connected to like the scripture and stuff, or like the sermons necessarily, but I connected to the community.
Okay.
And then I sort of like, as I moved and came here and like found other people, I found my people, like I became an artist, and I was always kind of like uncomfortable talking about spirituality, but now I'm at a place where I kind of like have my own understanding, and and it's hard, and it's just like a daily practice of even just like thinking about how we're connected to bigger things,
Yeah. Would you say that you believe in God, or like what's your idea about God like, or if you do believe in God? Yeah.
I don't believe in like one, like a God that looks like that.
Oh yeah, we're right by the religious candles.
Yeah.
So Jesus, right? You're not.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Like a manifestation where he's like a human. I think it's like, I don't know, thinking about the Big Bang and the universe.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. So I think about
it's hard to put that together with
what was underneath all of that. It wasn't like a conscious human like we know. Like it has to be like something we can't even understand.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my perception of God.
It's like God would be.
It's like this thing that doesn't have. It's not messed up in all the petty bullshit or whatever. It's like something that we have no idea.
Yeah. So it sounds like you have a belief that God is big, way bigger than us. Maybe so big that. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe so big that he wouldn't be concerned about our pettiness.
Oh yeah.
Do you think such a God? And when we think about the universe and all the stars and everything that's and then just like the details of life too, like every atom that's in existence.
Yeah.
If there's a creator God in control of all that, do you think God would be able to keep track of all of our petty, like every single person in the world's problems? Like, would a God like that be able to do that? Now, I'm not saying that you believe he does, but or it does or whatever, but not even able to keep track of all of our stuff?
No, we're on our own here.
Yeah, because I guess I was thinking, it sounds like your idea of God is that God is so big that he doesn't bother to be concerned about all of our details.
I don't know if it's bothering. I think it's more like it's like just a different level of consciousness and intelligence that we can't understand.
Yeah.
We don't have the like capacity.
We don't.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, human beings. I know humans are like pretty evolved in terms of what we know of intelligence, but I think there's like so much different.
So much more.
Yeah, there's another dimension or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just so you know, like, I mean, there again, the Bible says that, like, that we're made in God's image. So in other words, God made us in a way where we have something in common with God. Mm-hmm. Kind of in the same way, like, a mirror has not all the qualities of the real thing because it's not three-dimensional, nothing like that. But if you look in a mirror, like, there's a lot in common, So one way to look at it is that God made man in a way where, where we can actually relate to our Creator. In a way that, I think it's pretty obvious that God would be way over our heads, right?
Right.
But if there is any understanding that we could have of God, it would come from God, not from us. In other words, God could give us this skill or the ability to understand at least certain things about Him. Maybe, obviously not everything, but enough. And so that's
would be like some clues or
yeah.
things there, yeah.
And just to maybe remind you of what you learned in that confirmation class. Because they did talk about the Bible, right?
Yes, I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. You look young, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was like 20 years ago.
Okay. I mean, there's verses in the Bible, like one says, Jesus is the image of the invisible God. Okay. In other words, if you want to know God, look at Jesus. And so I'm not saying it's got to be like a white European artistic rendition of Jesus, but that there was that God actually like took human form and came and walked this earth. And if we want to know God, we would read about Him and read the things that He said and read the things that He did. And that at least on a human level, I mean, obviously we're not going to know everything about God, the Creator, and there's a lot that Jesus didn't show, but there's a lot that He did,
Right.
And like that concern for the poor and the oppressed that your pastor was, talking about was huge in Jesus' life and ministry.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, if Jesus was, concerned about that, and He's representing God, then God must be concerned about the poor and the oppressed. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I don't know how much you can remember of like about Jesus' life and teachings and ministry and everything, but is there anything that you think about, like, that you remember about Jesus that would not be God-like? In other words, if Jesus is representing God, then why did He do this, or why did He do that? See what I'm saying? Now, I know we can say that about Christians, Christians do a lot of things that we would think, that's not very godly,
Right, yeah.
But Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, I think Jesus is a great, just like, what He taught was like,
He's
it's peaceful. I don't know. It's just like very like understanding and empathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, usually when I do talk to people and they're like maybe critical of Christians acting in ungodly ways, and it's like they're hypocrites, right, or whatever. Usually
they're just people. I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah, I don't catch that from you, but from other people I have. And so I say, well, what is it about them that is not godly? And well, Jesus wouldn't have taught them to do this, or He wouldn't have taught them to do that. And so really what they're doing is they're pointing back to Jesus and they're saying, now there's your example. See what I'm saying? Like, so like if we Christians fall short, it's because we're not living up to what Jesus taught or the example that He set. And so He becomes the standard,
Right.
And I personally just think that, like, if we want to understand Christianity, let's not look at the failure of Christians so much, but look at the success or the life and teachings of Jesus,
Yeah.
And so I like to try to remind people to get back to that. So.
Yeah.
I don't want to overstay my welcome.
Oh,
so.
yeah, that's cool. I
So-
appreciate the conversation.
so maybe
I try
that'd
to
be
do grocery shopping on a, like, when I know it's not going to be busy, because it's like,
Yeah,
stresses me
this
out
is
a
a
little
great
bit.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to leave you with that challenge: is maybe revisit the life of Jesus and keep reading about him and
Sure.
and that sort of thing. And
Yeah, I'm always.
I'll give you
try to learn.
my information where you can see your video, but also all the other videos of people I've talked to. So
Okay. Yeah,
Okay?
Cool.
All right.
Thank you.
that's cool. You